Joining us is a man who's no stranger to the Observer, very outspoken, of course. Yeah, you're hearing him here on Sunday. It's none other than Douglas Politics himself, the man, UNC Senator Anil Roberts. Good evening.
Good evening, my brother. I hope you appreciate there's only you, Mikee K, the Observer on Gael, could get me out of my bed when I have asthma and any of the virus bad.
Yeah.
So all these citizens out there, don't pray to catch that. I think about 1/3 of the country have it. But for you, I shall be available, my brother. God bless.
God bless.
Good evening.
I want to thank you so much. And of course, the people, always putting the people first, the good citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Next week, Sunday, Woodford Square. After that, that's the eve of Dr. Rowley handing over the reign of power. We will, of course, be entering new territories where an elected prime minister will, of course, be giving us an unelected prime minister. Where are we at and what are we looking at?
Well, that's what I like about you. You're so intelligent and diplomatic. Your strength and power and control of the English language is to be admired. That is a travesty. That is not new territory. That is going backwards into the throes of oppression, tyranny, and the haves continuing to take control of the resources of the many to keep in the hands of a few. Next week, Sunday, will be the worst day in the history of Trinidad and Tobago because, as you said, an elected prime minister has abdicated his job, has given up, has broken his contract with the people that he went up for and begged for them to vote for him. He won by a slim margin of 2,620 votes during a COVID-19 pandemic where over 35,000 citizens could not come home to vote. And now that he is happy, he's done enough, he's controlled the resources, he put a web of corrupt officials all around the money, he's eliminated corporate governance, he's put us in the throes of a geopolitical tug of war on the wrong side with a narco-trafficking dictator called Maduro. He now abdicates, but to ensure that his interests, any that may be lingering, any little control of the people's money, he leaves his mini-me there. A man called Stuart Young, better known as Small Pin, who does not deserve in any form or fashion to be called prime minister, whether designate, select, chosen for even 1 minute, 1 week, or 3 months. This human being is the biggest failure on God's green earth. Understand what we are discussing, Mikee K. Mikee K, we're discussing prime minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, you know, Mikee K. Not the prime minister of PNM Balize house that they can't count for, you know. Think about that. The prime minister is the most powerful position in politics, democratic politics globally. A prime minister should, in all essence, in all convention, in all belief, should be the highest achiever in many different spheres. A prime minister must have been intellectually superior during school, must have a disciplinary record that is impeccable, must simultaneously have been a man or a woman on the ground who understands people, who understands and helps people throughout, who works with charitable organizations, maybe a national sporting hero who worked for the country and patriotism, who served, put time in, built themselves up from the ground, working hard, helping, not just being handed prime minister because of what? Who is Stuart Young? Who is this Small Pin? He was an average student in St. Mary's College who ended up with the nickname, not the general like David Nackett, not a nickname of superior capability, not bright boy, not brains man. You know what his nickname in St. Mary's College was?
Tell us.
Dustbin Terrier. Because there was a little Indian boy he used to be bullying all the time. And ask any St. Mary's boy who went in St. Mary's back in that time. And the little skinny Indian boy took the pressure until the day he couldn't take it. And he raised up and he beat Smallpin bad, and threw him in a dustbin. And from that day forward, all the St. Mary's boys call him Dustbin Terrier. On Sunday, Dustbin Terrier is going to be selected by the PNM Rowley to be Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes. The thing about it, Senator, I had Dr. Kirk Migo on earlier this week, the PRO of the United National Congress, and he made it quite clear that this is going to be a very nasty battle, a gutter battle, a battle where, of course, no punches are going to be held back. But even to this morning, you made it quite clear that so many things are trying to align themselves with this change. You said that the corrupt mass media, we must fight to disseminate the truth. Only the truth shall set our nation free from the persecution, oppression, and abuse of the PNM. Has the media lost its way?
The media has lost its way for a long time. It's now that they're just getting overt because it has become, Rowley has failed so badly at every level. Rowley and Stuart Smallpin Young have failed across the board. They've spent more money than any prime minister team, any cabinet in history. They spent over $500 billion and nothing works. People can't get water. People driving and busting tire on the road. Bullets flying over your head. Extortion, home invasion, children beating up children in school, women getting raped and battered and beaten, businesses shut down, 6,000 businesses shut down, energy sector collapse. T&Tech, they want to raise your rates on your electricity, go in and come in, your fridge and air condition matching up. Nothing works. Yet the media is PNM. So when you hear the big shareholders of the PNM boasting about $2.3 billion profit in a quarter and so on, you understand. So they have to try to obfuscate, to try and pretend that what we're seeing in our face is not really true. So Mikee K on this observer, let us be observant. Don't take Anil word for it. Okay, let's just go through the facts. Stuart Young will be the selected prime minister. He will not be elected. He did not go through the PNM convention. The process did not follow the PNM constitution. This is new ground. This is not democracy. The people, even the members of the PNM, have not had their say and will not have their say. Secondly, there were 9 other people at one time on the PNM parliamentary caucus who were not in support of Stuart Smallpin Young. And today we have to read a column from a so-called senior counsel called Martin Daly, who had the audacity to swear in as an independent senator, knowing full well that he has a very close, loving relationship with Keith Rowley and his wife, who works in chambers with him for over 25 years, that they are close friends and they live and love together and work together and have an affinity for one another. But he swore in as an independent senator. He writes a column and pretends that he's independent, that he's so above reproach. Yet, I can tell you that he was on the RBC board back in 1998 or so when I was taking a loan for a house. And I have lawyers, as you know, my whole family is lawyers. And yet, he did not find it corrupt that everybody taking a mortgage from the RBC bank that he was on the board had to go to Daly and Associates to pay the legal fees. And that time was $33,000 when I could have gotten it done by my family for free. He doesn't find that wrong, but he's writing today in the newspaper as a so-called senior counsel, independent mind, total fraudulent, dishonest imbecile, because he has a close relationship with Sharon Rowley and Keith Rowley, and I challenge him to deny it. And he says that he starts to lay the groundwork to accept or to make it seem that what is taking place next week Sunday makes sense. He said, and I quote, that there was a split and then negotiations took place. What is negotiations, Mikee K? What were the negotiations? What was done? How did 9/11 turn to 21-0?
Yeah, what was promised?
How did Foster Cummins A man who we all know wanted to lead the PNM, who's been in the PNM a long time, who had all his ground troops across the board and had worked with the people and so on. I don't like Foster, but at least he had a goal and he wanted to be leader. He had his Black Caucus and he was moving towards it. How did he switch so quickly? Isn't it? Let me also simultaneously ask, what happened with all them cases? There are about 3 different set of police was investigating Foster. It had special branch, it had an ex-police, it had production orders, it had a venture credit union account that MTS had put money into and it got into Foster Cummings' personal account without him having any contract. Pre-call services. What happened to those investigations all by the police? I don't know, but all of a sudden, as Martin Daly says, negotiations occurred. He's talking about our democracy, you know. One man, one vote, one woman, one vote, and is trying to rationalize and make it seem normal that Rowley's oppression of the PNM, Rowley's suppression of democracy is somehow acceptable and okay. And then he's trying to lay up a path now for Small Pin to get a little ease. Because he's trying to say, now as Rowley's on the way out, things are so good. But things have not been good for 9 years, Mikee K.
Yes,
where the columns from Martin Daly saying things bad, it's terrible, Nelson Gate, Delcy Gate, what was that indemnity? Where was the file? Why the 21 million? Or they didn't put in a defense? Why AAG went on lie in a court of, where all of them things? This is why our country is in jeopardy. Because the truth must be observed. We must talk facts.
I agree with you, Senator, because I mean, when you look at it, so much that is being done, and yet the media seems to have dropped the ball or just simply doesn't care to ask these questions. You have a man who is the energy minister who is simply going to waltz in to office as the prime minister, and he told us, the public, that an evaluation committee held some 26 meetings in total, 26 meetings regarding the selection process based on the lease agreement, who's going to lease the refinery. And they came up with the only company that it seems that have the most shadiest characters, the most allegations. The only reason why they were saved because in Italy, the judge said it's not in his jurisdiction. But when you look at all of that, none of these things are done in the interest of the people. It always seems to be lining the pockets of those who are simply pulling the strings. 26 meetings, and this is the best you could come up with, this company?
Well, not only that, 9.5 years. Name some of the companies that the PNM have brought to Trinidad and Tobago. Name some of the characters. Bridgman's, no track record, yet 340 million still running every day, 22,000. Where is that Chinese company that Rowley was acting Minister of Housing and signed a contract with them, and then they had to cancel that contract. Before this, they had a company called Quantum, and Senator Wade Mark had to tell you it's 2 engineers and they have a house in California. Then they go to find Jindal, corruption allegations, Maduro, Mikwan, anything Rowley and Small Pin touch, it ain't good. All the high-ranking, brilliant companies with great investment histories and so on, they don't touch Rowley. They don't touch Small Pin. They run. So that is their norm, and that's what has been going on. But for us, we accept it because the mass media does not simply print the truth. And that's why we are in this mess that we are in today.
Gore, I know I don't want to keep you much longer. I know it's Sunday. I want to thank you so much for taking time out. I mean, next week, Sunday, of course, is going to be something that many of us, I mean, I am not going to view it, but it sickens, according to Rowley, it rots my gut that this is where we've reached as a country. And we also hear talk about there could be a curfew with the SOE. We don't know. Apparently, there's some press conference.
Mikee K. Number one, I concur with you, and any citizen of Trinidad and Tobago who can stomach to watch that, it means everything you taught your children, everything you dreamt about, whatever your skill set is, whatever you achieve or you want to achieve in life, you have been lying to yourself. Because anybody who watches that, watches someone who's only been in politics 10 years and has a track record of total failure, the worst minister of communications ever, CNMG shut down into TTT and nobody does watch that even now. Then the worst minister of national security, only saved by Fitzgerald Hines coming and surpassing him, and Martin Joseph, 539 murders, 519 murders. The worst Minister of Energy, a man who crippled an energy sector with, if you let a 5-year-old run it and just let them go gag, gag, goo, goo, we would have made billions of dollars. This clown called Smallpin went in there with Rowley, negotiated gas price in 2017. Jerry Brooks had to resign, collapse NGC, make up loss, close down Petrotrin, shut down steel plant, 11 companies at Point Lisa has gone, NGC no gas, gone to Maduro, up and back, and now Trump and Rubio looking for anybody who was bankrolling Maduro, a narco trafficker. Trinidad and Tobago now in the bad glasses, bad eyes of the USA. Pressure for all of us. This is the man who have no family, leaving wife pregnant and went to the next man wife to mash up family. And when he was the father of the girl for 10 years as the man of the house, when the girl does criminal conduct, he spits you out first time and said, "I not my child." That is who y'all are going to watch sworn in as the greatest citizen in Trinidad and Tobago, as the most accomplished, as the one that all of us must look up to, as the one who should lead us, who should hold up red, white, and black, who when we stand for our anthem, we must think about him as a leader. Y'all have to be mad in this country. Not me, Mikee K. God bless.
Well said. God bless, Senator. Get some rest. Thank you so much.